assignment. So our objective, number one, was to develop a simple IoT-based temperature monitoring system using Python. And the system will simulate a temperature sensor and display the sensor readings on the console. That is the objective. So what are some of the requirements given to us? The requirement number one is to simulate the temperature sensor. So create a temperature sensor class. Remember, we are using object-related programming where we have classes and objects, and also create some instances, okay, and be able to execute our code. So we are saying that you create a temperature sensor class that generates random temperature values within a specified range. And the range given to us is, for example, from 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius, okay? Then we also have an IoT device. Here we create an IoT device class that represents the IoT device. This class should have the following functionalities. One is should initialize the device with a unique device ID and the temperature sensor instance. And two, it should implement a display temperature data method that reads the temperature from the sensor and prints it to the console. So if you don't have software installed like PyCharm, the IDE, where you can run Python from, or VS Code, you can always, as long as you have internet, you can always use a platform like this one, the Google Colab. First and foremost, we needed to name, it gives you a title, a project, you can name it, and we can call it IoT assignment, for example. Assignment 1. You can give it a name, any name, okay? And then from here, you can start writing your code. Let me see if I can expand this one. Do I need to expand it, or we can just, I hope you guys, you can see this. Anyway, let me expand it so that the code I write is visible enough. Okay, it's visible enough. Okay, I think up to 25. Okay, I guess that is enough for now. So we start from here, and we said in class that in Python, you can start with importing some modules that you want to use. For example, you use the import keyword and the module. For example, the module we want to use is random, so that we randomly select temperature from a range, a specified range, and we can also import time. Okay, we can also import time like this. And then after that, we can create a class. We said we should have a class called temperature sensor class, and define methods. Yeah, by the way, with our AI embedded in this platform, we can always have code suggestions, but it's always good to know what you're doing, so we can yes, we can have our init method, initialization method, and in brackets we put self, and then we can put, you see, it's actually suggesting that we have minimum temp and maximum temp. We can accept that one, and then it will clearly initialize, you see, initialize for us. Now the second is to read temperature. Remember they said we can use the read underscore temperature. Here it is suggesting this kind of code. It is okay, actually this code is good, but let us write it ourselves. Let us say define, we use read temperature like they suggested. Yes, wow. You see, it is giving us, I can accept here, and it, oh wow, it has completed the code. We return random.inform, then we specify the range of values, which is self.minimum temperature. This one is defined up here from minimum to maximum. Yes, perfect. So that is done. And then that class is done. We can look at another class, IoT. It was IoT device class, like that one. IoT device class, by the way, it has suggested for us some code. I can accept here and then modify the code. You see, we initialize here, we said we should call it device ID. Okay, and then here we said we call it temperature. Okay, the temperature instance. Okay, that is according to our assignment, temperature instance, like that. And then here we can initialize and say self.device ID. Device ID is equal to actually device, yeah, device ID. Okay. And we can accept now it has completed this one. You see, AI is very, very interesting actually. Yes. You guys, you don't need to suffer. As long as you know what you're doing, AI can actually complement, can help you complete the work in a shortest possible time. Now here, here we said we are going to use another method to display. We said we call it display temperature underscore data. Okay, something like that. Yes, and we can accept the code. Oh wow, we accept the code, but here let us write our own code. We said we can have a temperature. You can actually call it temp data. Okay, and say equals self dot temperature. Yes, equals self dot temperature dot read. Yes, we accept self dot temperature dot read temperature. Yes, this one here. Okay, this one. This is okay. Okay, and then we can print. Yes, wow, it has given us the clear code. We can actually do what? Print the device ID. Then we give this is, yeah, yes, absolutely. Self dot device ID and also the temperature. Here we can capture the temperature, and here we capture the temp data, which is here. Yes, absolutely. This is correct. We don't need to sleep here. We can sleep to the end. We can sleep here, but let us remove that one. Okay, let us remove that one. So this is done. This is done. Perfect. And we don't need this class. Okay, we will suggest a lot of code, but you can always remove it if you don't want it. Now we have our two classes, class temperature sensor and class IoT device. Now we can create instances of these objects. Okay, we can create instances of this project and say, for example, here you can create a variable called temperature sensor for temperature reading, temperature underscore reading, for example, and we say this is equal to our temperature. Yes, perfect. It is suggesting some code here. Yes, it is given by temperature sensor, and then we initialize the minimum and maximum values. We can actually run it like this, or remember in class we said you can give the minimum temp here, so that you know exactly what you're doing, what this means. Okay, it is minimum temperature, and also here you can give the maximum temp. Remember, these are variables that we initialized up here, minimum temperature and maximum temperature, so we can use them here. Okay, then we can have, it is suggesting to have two devices, but we said we can use only one device for now, and say IoT, we can call it IoT device. Okay, let us use just the word device. IoT device is equal to IoT device. Yes, class here, and then we can specify. Remember here it had the device ID and temperature. So this is the device ID name. You can actually run it like this, but it's always good to give it name so that you clearly know exactly what you meant or what you were doing in your code. So this is the device ID here equaling to, you can call it device one, or we can say dev 001. Okay, device 001, and here it was temperature. Here we can say temperature instance there equaling to this temperature reading. Perfect. So this is done. So we are done with our instances, and here we can create, we can create a loop to run our code. You see it is giving an example here, and we can accept the code. So it is saying while true, so IoT device, yes, perfect. IoT device dot display temperature data. This one, this method here. We use this instance here, together with this method to display data. And data will be displayed, and then you can sleep, use a time.sleep function, and inside sleep you can give how many seconds you want to sleep. Perfect. So it is done. It's done. So after writing your code, use this button here to run. Okay? And we can click this button. This is our monitor here. It should be able to display. If we have no errors, it should be able to display our temperature here. Okay, let us see. Let us see. Yes, it's displaying. Sorry, it has displayed actually with so many decimal places. We can actually specify a number of decimal places, but it is working. As you can see, 22.65, 28. But let us stop this one from running. You just click here and stop, and then adjust our code so that we specify the number of decimal places from here. Temperature data. Here we can say, we can put full colon. We put decimal point. We say 2F. 2F means the number of decimal points. Okay, and outside here we can put actually the units. I don't know whether if we can do 0.176 to display. Yes, perfect. So we have put that degree Celsius there, and I can put C, capital C. Okay, so decimal places. Remember here it was displaying so many decimal places. Remember, temperature is a continuous variable, and it will always display like this one. Is analog. So we can run again our code and see perfect. Wow. See our monitor. Now it is displaying perfectly well. Device 001 and then comma temperature 24.95, 28.59. So this is random. It randomly selects a temperature from the minimum to the maximum, which is 20 to 30, and it displays that temperature. Wow, so this is a temperature monitor. And in our next example or assignment, we can we can use this data to do some decisions, to make some decisions based on the temperature reading